What's up, Sebastian?
I'm going to join this call every week until we have proper testing for the orchestrators.
Wow. Okay.
Not every week, but in general, my idea is yeah, until we have proper testing for the orchestrators. I'm really not that confident actually, and I want to see progress.
Where are you in Barcelona?
Yeah,
How was it?
was actually really awesome. Good talks, good presentations.
Do you, do you need anybody for your efforts?
Actually, I need more time to work on that.
Okay.
Hi, Greg.
Hey guys, good afternoon or morning.
Hey, Greg.
Talking about Ceph.
You've enjoyed it? Greg, you enjoyed Cephalicon?
Yeah, it's good. Stayed too long. We didn't. KubeCon was not so helpful, but Ceph was great.
Yeah, indeed.
I haven't watched any of the talks on YouTube yet. Planning to go through them all very slowly. Hopefully in the background while I'm doing other stuff or something. But there was this really good one I hear about testing.
Yeah. All the testing talks were really great.
Anyway, I don't have anything too much about this, except that I'm writing some tests and running into the problem which we have where we're like, we have our 50 processes all trying to lock the right number of nodes, because I'm doing a test that really needs 3 nodes, because I'm trying to like use them to simulate data centers and disconnect with them, and I need to figure out. I think I can, but I haven't done it yet. If I can squash them down into 2 nodes, which will be awkward even if it does work. I don't know. Look, one of the problems I called out is surfacing. Really all I've got. Yuri, how are things here?
How's what?
How are things here? Anything come up while I was
Things?
traveling?
No. I was just like thinking about you. Yesterday I watched a couple of like videos. Maybe not completely, but like what's interesting. Watched Neha. Watch Orit actually. So Orit is in the same space again. So Sage. Interesting. So I'm actually working on a client upgrade, and Sage was talking about them as well. And what else? So he said that we want to do reconsider downgrades. Do you think we can do downgrades?
I'm pretty skeptical, although I think he was talking about point releases, which makes it at least possible.
Why are you skeptical?
Well, across major versions, it's not going to work because we like make incompatible changes to the data structures. Within a point release, we don't do that, or at least we aren't supposed to. So there's a chance there.
Too many features are backported to to previous versions.
Yeah, that's my concern. We might be okay because usually I think when we do that, like all the data structures data structures might add stuff when they're encoded on disk, but it doesn't flip the incompat ver- version, so we might be okay, and it'll just like get disabled. But it'll be rough.
It would be really developers should be really made aware that if features are getting down backported to previous releases, and they suddenly need to be um, uh, uh, upgradable in both directions. So it's
Yeah.
something that an additional thing that we need to care when backporting.
Yeah, we'd have to message it really loudly, and I think we'd have to start running the Ceph object corpus on every point, like before every point release, and do like the comparison in both directions. Because that's really the only way I can imagine, besides just manually testing and hoping we catch stuff. That's the only programmatic tool we have I can think of.
Plus, things like configurations or the persistent store of manager modules is also something that can be touched by upgrades. I wouldn't say it's impossible, but it's
Problematic.
we have to make programmatically sure that things work. Hi Kay, hi Kill.
You guys, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Have you finished already?
We were just talking about downgrades. What do you think about downgrades, Kill?
It's not popular. I have no ideas.
How are upgrade tests done?
I talking about downgrade or revert, actually, rollback, because it's the difference.
Actually, do we have minutes in a pad about this testing weekly?
We haven't maintained them in a while because haven't really had anything substantial we've discussed. I think there's an Etherpad, which I once upon a time wrote in, but it's very, very out of date.
I'm just wondering, why don't we add this URL to the calendar?
For the what?
Calendar.
It's on the calendar. In the description. It's the first thing.
Yeah, indeed.
Maybe I have outdated.
Yeah, it's over a year old now. Mm. No, half a year.
Hmm. I actually have 2 records. Okay. Yeah. So downgrade, do you guys have any experience of downgrading stuff at all? Like we do.
I have not ever done it. I'm not sure what the difference is between downgrading and rollback. Is it like rollback is only while you're upgrading and you can undo it, or and then downgrading is once you've like done it all, or
Yeah, it's just because the data can actually have metadata or previous and, and something like that. And of course, it's not only Ceph, but the base system as well. The
yeah.
if
So
it
that's
matters within the just one base version and just it's probably all okay, but I mean sometimes it probably work.
yeah. So when and I haven't heard about this the last time, I guess that Yuri did, but when I've heard about this in the past, it's usually Red Hat's product people or something where they're not necessarily worried about going across major versions, like not from Mimic to Nautilus, but when we do point releases, in case something goes wrong there, they want to be able to do a rollback, um, or maybe even a downgrade. But like they don't expect it to work across like the feature flags that we make admins run, saying like enable like what was it, the MinOSD release, setting that to the newest version or something. They don't expect it to work across that. And I don't know how else we would do it except a lot of testing and a lot of developer noise. So I'm not a huge fan of it. But if we were testing, I think it would have to be like running a bunch of upgrades and then downgrading them in the lab while running workloads, plus a bunch of people doing it manually, plus the Ceph object corpus that we already have and that we we sort of lost track of for a while. But Kipu just redid it for Nautilus, I guess, or like ran it again, and we actually have instructions in the docs for it. We'd have to start doing that on every point release, and making sure that both the previous and the current point releases could read each other's data in both directions and have it come out the same. But that still leaves holes for things like I don't think we could probably cover the manager config stuff in that. I know the problem we've had historically, because the manager hasn't been around so long, but is like RTW, all the individual objects are encoded the same, but like the OMAPs themselves like look different. We have new keys on disk or something, or they're arranged in a different way. And we don't have good tests for covering that, except for actually running the stuff and just hoping that whatever changes show up. Were there other things that were brought up for that, Yuri?
No, that's really. I'm trying to close the point release per minute.
All right, I'm putting some notes in the pad about this. Here, how's it going, Dewey? I don't see any new PRs, so I assume we're all okay on the Toothology PRs. But
I'm waiting for Zach's review, but if you can review it right now, just I updated the one of the libcloud related stuff with the unit test example, and I'm sure.
oh, okay, yep.
Is Zach going to join this meeting or?
I'm not sure. He mentioned to me that he was aware of it last week, but then and he had some ideas he wanted to discuss, but then we never did. I think he's pretty busy right now on stuff with our downstream Kubernetes OpenShift things, but I'll just ping him on IRC because anything from last week probably got lost because basically everyone from Red Hat was traveling at Cephalicon and KubeCon, or at least I know he was.
I believe we can improve the timing for review actually, because it's scanning like for a week, so it slows me down. So basically, I'm trying. I'll let you to this PR. And I don't know. At some point, we can't merge it with Nathan. I believe some rules have changed on GitHub.
Yeah, I mean, if Nathan thinks something's good, sure. Or at least probably their odds are good.
So maybe we can discuss the next. Probably we can the next steps for the tool which can deploy Toothology as test environment to libcloud to OVH or any OpenStack, or to the some virtualized environment on your local machine. And at this moment, I only able to test for it for open source stuff, and we can maybe extend it for Red Hat with someone who has time and willing. And do you think it's for testing purpose? Does it make sense to try and resurrect some KVM stuff?
Sorry, which one's that? Did we have a KVM target at some point?
Yeah, like so you can just, for example, to run tests on your local PC.
I did not know we had that. Interesting. I mean, if it actually runs on your local PC, yes, that's awesome. Like doing the testing when people will test is a problem, and that would make it a lot easier.
So basically, the setup requires the name server, and it's run separately. It can run separately, but the target machines.
Was this the downburst thing, or
Yeah,
something
downburst.
else?
Like I've seen this downburst stuff, and I'm not sure. I haven't tested it. But
So
is it outdated or just you got rid of it?
well, I mean, what it was doing was we had target machines that it would set up VMs on, and I guess it probably could have run on your local machine, but it required infrastructure like the machine images needed to be hosted somewhere that it installed.
Local storage.
I think like they could be on a server. I don't think it was local, but yeah, it needed to be in a defined place where it could go grab the images and copy them onto the target.
Yeah, I believe this
I don't
is one
have a catalog of what all services it required. It could be that it just needed a couple of things that are really easy to turn on, in which case, yes, it's probably worth it because then people could run tests locally. But if it requires like 5 different services that require network configuration, probably not. So we'd have to, if you're interested, I would catalog that first, because I'm pretty sure it's bit rotted. I think it got removed because there were pieces that weren't working anymore.
Another thing is trying to run it in Docker. I mean everything, like nodes, or your local Kubernetes. I mean,
Yeah.
just.
And yeah, if we could just like run a command and it would install on my if I could just like run a command and it would run tests on my local machine without me needing to do anything else, that would be awesome. I have no idea what kind of labor it is to get that set up right.
Yeah, but just for now, I'm able to deploy it in OpenStack, and but those tests, those scripts are just a combination of Terraform stuff and Ansible with extra Ansible roles to the FCM Ansible, because just a little bit simplified name server. But they're separate. They're in a separate repo. So I think probably reasonable to add as another tool to tautology, like tautology deploy. So you can deploy it and you can point where to deploy, to OpenStack or some fixed machine, and select which services to deploy. Like, if you want name server or like that.
So since you mentioned Terraform, did you see There was a talk from DigitalOcean about testing Ceph in the cloud at Ceph.con. Did anyone point you at that?
Oh no.
Okay. Basically, they run their own Toothology instance, but they have a script whose URL I might be able to, or not a script, but they have a little thing whose URL I might be able to find. Let's see. Yes, that where they managed to actually just start running Toothology, and they've got it set up to run in DigitalOcean, obviously, but I have no idea what the level of commonality might be. But if you've got a bunch of Terraform stuff, you might want to look at that and see if we could
Oh, I'm
pull
just
stuff in
using
or something.
I'm just using the Terraform script for allocating a server machine on
Okay.
OVH, and that's it. So basically, it's just I mean, I have a set of templates. I mean, not templates, but for using different OpenStack instances, so OVH and our internal cloud.
Yeah.
So just initial. And they're using the different nodes per pedals and pulpito. That's totally fine. But I'm running everything on a single node. However, my script can be modified to run on separate machines. But there is no sense since they are using the dedicated user. They are separated and on a user level. Pedals, pulpito. Yeah, and they are just separating the head node and work out of the pedals and pulpito. So it's just yeah. I do not use the Terraform itself since it's I mean everything in Terraform. It's just Bash script and I'm using Terraform as soon as it was easier to allocate the resources. But if we better integrate the deploy tool to Tautology, it will not be used in Terraform anyway, because Tautology can use OpenStack directly and via libcloud as well. So, but I mean, I have no see any reason to have several backends. The third backend for using with OpenStack. Our Terraformers, I don't know, do they support the KVM KVM plugin in Terraform for deploying the Tautology? Just wondering.
I don't think I've ever run any of those things, so I have no idea.
Yeah, okay.
So I've think Zach about that PR since you probably missed the email notification last week. Were there any other specific questions? we should look at?
Not yet. I just need to get access and talk to David about infrastructure of the lab, so probably to understand how to better incorporate our system testing or methodology on PR basis.
Cool. Sebastian, anything else?
Nope.
All right. Have a good rest of your week, all. See you next time.
See you guys.
See you, bye. Thanks.